All right. All right. What's going on, y'all? We are going to go ahead and keep trucking along because there are some rumors a swirling, if you will, about our Rams, and a few of them are are a bit interesting. I would say, for lack of a better term. But one of which that really caught my attention was Matthew Stafford, our Super Bowl winning quarterback who won us our first Super Bowl since 1999, the first Super Bowl in I believe 20 something years, um, could possibly retire. Could possibly retire. As you can see on your screen, Matthew Stafford rumors retirement is not out of the question. So, what does this mean? Well, let's go ahead and take a look. Stafford has denied it all offseason, but rumors persist that his arm won't be ready to go again. That is kind of concerning. So, Matthew has for this whole offseason has insisted that he's not retiring. And as y'all know, Stafford has had he's pretty much dealt with injuries his entire career. He's a very tough guy. He's played through a lot of those things, which shows how tough he is, but it also shows that how quote unquote injury prone he can be. And lately, for us, his arm or elbow was a cause for concern. If y'all remember back in the offseason last year, a whole big thing was made about the elbow. Even I was like, oh man, is his elbow going to be all right? I guess he had hit his elbow, I think it was, and it was kind of swollen. He was having a hard time throwing it, this, that, and the other. Well, he ended up throwing pretty well in training camp, and everyone seemed to relax a little bit. Though there was always that little kind of voice in the back of my head, at least, where I'm like, well, is it still bothering him? Like, is it still bothering him because he wasn't going deep as often as I would like, and for the majority of those reasons, I just kind of chalked it up as our O line being okay. Let me try to be respectful here. Not up to standard. Okay, not up to standard is the term I will use, but which certainly I think is the biggest part of it. But another part, the more I think about it, the more I begin to wonder if perhaps his arm could have something to do with it. And well, we come to NBC's Matthew Berry uh, reported last week that at least one source at the combine. Okay, so NBC's Matthew Berry reported this week that at least one source at the combine, because the NFL combine was this week, thinks that retirement remains on the table for Matthew Stafford. And quoted here, asking about Stafford, I was told the guy could barely throw last year. Retirement is still not out of the question. So, interesting. And we all know Stafford kind of got banged up a little bit last year, and he actually missed a bunch of the games at the end of the year. But that was just a lot of that was just because he line couldn't hold up. We were having a losing record. There was really no point in having him finish the end of last season. So, what do I have to think about this? What do I have to think about this? Well, we see the big names being let go: Bobby Wagner, Leonard Floyd, Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson, I'll be talking about here in a little bit. Bobby leaving, and it's looking like the Rams are kind of in a bit of a rebuild, not kind of moving things around, trying to get their finances in order. This was bound to happen. Okay, this is not something to panic about because it was inevitable. Okay, we put all our chips in to win the Super Bowl, and guess what? That mission was a success. The Rams had won the Super Bowl. They got their trophy. They got their championship. And they should be very proud about that. I am very proud of them for that fact. And I, as a fan, am pretty happy that they were the champs. You know, despite them being, let's see, trying to be respectful again, below average last season. The one thing I kept telling myself is, well, at least we're still the Super Bowl champions, and that lasted up until the Chiefs won it about a month or two ago. So that's over. But hey, you know, it's all good. And could he retire? What do I think? You know, one source, they don't say who the source is. Obviously, they're not going to do that. I think this is just more so trying to stir some things up. Okay, this came from an unnamed source from a reporter at the NFL Combine. Okay, I'm not going to put too much stock into it, quite frankly. Okay, until I hear it come from Matthew Stafford's mouth. Okay, that he says, like in training camp coming up, or if we catch him and Miss Kelly out on the town, you know, out at a bar drinking, having a good old time, and a reporter walks up to him and says, Matthew, man, you having fun? He's like, yeah, I'm having fun. I'm having these shots. Okay, I'm having these shots. I'm here with my beautiful wife, and we are just having a grand old time, you know, with his homeboys, you know, other Rams players, this, that, and the other. And the reporter goes, Matthew, are you gonna retire? Are you gonna retire? Was this it? Are you done? Is the elbow treating you? Is the elbow hurting? Are you hurting? Are you just gonna call it quits? And if and when Matthew Stafford then goes, retirement is not out of the question. I am considering it. Then I will be concerned. As of right now, this statement coming from a reporter at the Combine, that unnamed source who was probably not even in the Rams, not even on the Rams. Pardon me, Jesus Christ, I can't speak. To me, it's a whole lot of smoke and mirrors. It's a whole lot of nothing. Okay, so I wouldn't put too much stock into this as of right now. But it is something we should keep our eye on, and it's interesting. It's interesting. This is going to be a very interesting offseason for us, so we'll see. I would love to have Matthew Stafford back, man. Don't let it end like this, okay? Barring if it's a health concern and you have to retire because of your health, that's a whole nother issue. Because if that is the case, fine. But if it's not about your health and you're just contemplating, well, I did win my Super Bowl, I kind of want to chill, have my drinks and party for the rest of my life, which is fine. That's cool, man. But, you know, don't let it end like it did last season. At least try to end on a winning note. Doesn't necessarily have to win the Super Bowl, but just with a winning record. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to cut it off here for now. I will catch you guys on the next one. And as always, go Rams.